Hi, and welcome back to the Dev channel. So today I thought we would have a discussion about AI and whether or not it's going to replace developers. So obviously in the press, it's been since the inception of generative AI, it's been kind of bit doom and gloom, wild statements. Oh, AI is going to replace jobs. It's going to get rid of, your income, etc. So I thought, it'd be a good idea to take a look at this with you, Harvey. So firstly, what's your take?
My take. Okay, so currently, I think where it stands, I don't think at this moment we are in a position to, outright get rid of all of our software teams and replace them with AI. I don't think that's there. I think we've already made grounds to improve in software, and I think developers utilizing generative AI in good ways and also bad ways to create tools, create software, but I think we may get closer and closer towards it, and obviously bigger tech companies like Meta are already thinking that they can replace at least portions of their software team. It'd be interesting to see where we are at the end of the year, but I don't think currently it's really viable yet.
Okay, because I think the term at the moment in the press is vibe coding. We're seeing a lot of non-software developers start up businesses and say, I've made a 30 grand a month or 90 grand a month income from, some package that I've written or something like that using vibe coding and generative AI. Where's that going? Because, if it's that easy to get something stood up, and making 90 grand a month, that's happy days, isn't it?
I mean, that's fantastic, right? We can't deny that this chap has, clearly, utilised the tools, grasped them well, and he's made some serious money out of it. Now, as far as the longevity of that project, I'm not too certain, right? Because we've already seen instances where people have vibe coded to the point where they've got an app up and they're made money, but within days the security is so brittle, it's been pushed over straight away and completely crippled the whole business. I mean, alongside that as well is that, I say ChatGPT is any sort of generative AI is only really as good as what you feed it. So if you don't instill those good practices, like say, version control and deployments, CI, CD, good testing, then it's going to become a very brittle platform that you can't really adapt to, or it will get too big, and we still don't have tooling that really can that's capable of dealing with humongous projects yet. So I think there's a lot of gaps there still.
Point there, testing. Everyone who's gone into development or whatever, it's always been, write tests. You've got to make sure your codes have got tests. Your tests are going to be 3 times the amount of code as what your actual program is, and that sort of thing. Maybe is AI, generative AI, helping in the sphere of testing? Then could it help accelerate the quality of your tests that you're writing within the application?
I think from what I've seen so far, it's equally as low quality as some developers I've seen. Sadly, it's not really got the concept of continuous quality. If we're going to continually integrate into the product, we need to continually keep the quality as well. And sadly, it's very easy to shortcut it. And I think with the generative AI tools, it will shortcut it too, or make tests that might make good code coverage, but they're probably quite low value and don't really mean very much in terms of the real, I need to keep the critical areas covered, or something along those lines.
Good coverage there being supported by generative AI, so you can get 100% code coverage, but causes you a nightmare whenever you're doing any sort of updates. Is that a problem?
Yeah, or like it's mocked to high heaven, where it's not really actually testing anything. It's just okay, I've mocked everything, so true is definitely going to be true.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So really, what we're saying here is that Gen AI is only as good as what it's been taught on, and unfortunately, it's been taught on generally not very good testing regimes, or a human involved in trying to think about different approaches to how it could break, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and I think in terms of whole vibe coding, if the person approaching it, again, like we said before in previous videos, if the person behind the wheel isn't really thinking in a sort of a software design mindset, it's going to be difficult to instruct and give context to the tools they're using to get a sustainable platform. And we've seen that so far, like I said, with weak security, or versions that just completely break, because there's no version control, or it's those sort of software house mindsets that you have to sort of have on both sides as the developer and the tools you're using.
Yeah. Generative AI then, not necessarily a replacement for developers, but certainly a useful tool to help raise the bar of the existing developer team, make them potentially faster in achieving certain things, but definitely not a replacement this time then.
I don't think at this time. I think we may end up getting closer and closer towards it. I don't know if that'll be 5 years, 10 years, until we can probably see, junior level AI agents, shall we say. But yeah, at the moment, I think it's still fairly in a box. But I do want to stress that developers should still be using AI as a tool to assist them with their work, because it is clearly making a huge impact to output, and positive impact as well.
Thank you, Harvey. I think that's all we've got time for today, so please do remember to comment, like, subscribe and hit the notification bell to stay up to date with our videos.